Jesus Freak 777, you say that YouTube is privately owned, by which I assume you mean that it's not a public service, but a commercial enterprise. Well, whilst that's true, I think describing YouTube as a forum that allows us to upload videos is not really accurate. YouTube is actually providing a commercial service through the upload of our videos. It sells advertising space. In the case of this particular protest against censorship, I think it's important to be clear that this isn't a civil rights issue. What it is a message to YouTube from the customer base that the changes to terms and conditions doesn't match some customers' wants and needs. The message is from the customers to the vendor, and it's simply this: if they don't offer us what we want, we will go elsewhere. So it's a warning to YouTube. If YouTube forge on regardless, then there may come a point at which enough people have left that they will reconsider. But let's be clear that YouTube is not interested in freedom of speech, any more than it's interested in protecting the sensibilities of those delicate little flowers whose petals fall off if they hear a naughty word or see something smutty. This isn't some moral crusade for decency, it's purely financially motivated. And in our capitalist economy, YouTube is absolutely entitled to run its business model to serve its own interests, as long as it stays within the law. Recently in the UK, Heinz pulled an advert where there was a male-male kiss because they'd received complaints from people who seemed quite happy to watch people get shot on the TV in feature films for entertainment value, or get shot for real on the news, or take their young children to church and tell them that they and their friends will burn for eternity in hell if they don't do exactly what they're told. But seeing a man give another man a quick peck on the cheek in a spoof advert is, well, just one step too far. Like YouTube, Heinz is entitled to run its own marketing campaign exactly how it wishes. But I won't be buying any more Heinz products, and I've written to them telling them this and why. My one letter by itself probably won't have that much effect. It was just one letter. But every mighty river starts somewhere with a single drop of water, and that's what's happening here on YouTube. YouTube have been given notice, and if enough people comply with the blackout and enough people start to leave, YouTube will sit up and pay attention. It's a mistake to think that YouTube's business is offering a family-friendly forum for video posts. YouTube's business is making money, and anything that threatens their revenue stream will capture their interest. If enough people went into the local supermarket and demanded a barbecued dog, you can be absolutely sure that it wouldn't be long before barbecued dog appeared in the chiller food cabinets. Successful companies listen to their customers. This support of censorship by Christians on YouTube is just another example of hypocrisy. It seems you think that saying you're protecting children is some kind of magic bullet. It's a joker card that you can play whenever you're challenged because, hey, I'm only protecting the most vulnerable members of our society. My motives are good, right, and just. And let's face it, anybody who wants to stop me from protecting children, well, they must be a bit of a monster. But that isn't really what it's all about, is it? Not if you're honest. What it's really about is silencing the opposition. And in fact, more than that, it's about silencing anyone who doesn't agree with you 100%, regardless of whether they're actually opposing you at all. Now, I've seen plenty of videos here on YouTube where you, Jesus Freak 777, have been accused of being small-minded and been accused of bigotry. And some of these videos have been quite mean-spirited. But I think that we can draw a line under all of that now, because you've kind of outed yourself. At 4 minutes and 22 seconds in your video, you make what I can only assume is a Freudian slip when you say, don't swear and don't be profane. And there we have it. I mean, that's what you want stopped. People being profane. Stopping the promotion of a secular view of the world. Stopping anyone from questioning or contesting your view of God, and thereby being blasphemous. So, it isn't about protecting children at all. It's about silencing other people and preventing them from putting forward a point of view that doesn't match yours. And that's because your arguments are so weak that the only way to protect your worldview is to prevent anyone else from questioning it out loud. Otherwise, you'd be able to rise to the challenge of providing a reasoned and sensible defence of your position without any kind of difficulty. This idea that algorithmically demoting videos will somehow stop children from seeing them is naive. The kids will still see them. And using a credit card to authenticate age isn't going to work either. Do you really think that your average first world 12 or 13-year-old is so stupid that they can't lay their hands on a credit card? This is yet another example where the think of the children argument is being spouted by people who seemingly care so much about the children that they can't be bothered to supervise their access to media. And instead, they want to opt for the easy route of censorship, absolving themselves of any responsibilities as parents and adults, and thereby ensuring that they don't actually have to do anything, but they still retain the right to complain and finger point when all of these measures don't actually work. So it's win-win. It's a cynical, self-deluding approach arising from hypocrisy and laziness, and its proponents should hang their heads in shame. The idea that someone being responsible for themselves or their children is anathema to these people, and that's a sad reflection of how fit they are to be parents in the first place. I also have to reject your argument that the atheist message, which I assume is there is no God, is the easy option for teenagers when compared with the Christian message. The atheist message means that people have to take responsibility for their own actions. They have to decide for themselves what is right and what is wrong, and they have to live with the consequences. If you're going to have sex at 15 with your girlfriend, it isn't a case of okay as long as you use a condom. It's a case of think about what you're doing and the consequences. The Christian message is simply, it's wrong, don't do it, but if you do slip up, don't worry about it too much. All you have to do is ask God for forgiveness and everything will be all right. So which of those two is easier? Taking responsibility for everything you do and the consequences, having to find your own way in life and learn for yourself, or having everything mapped out in detail so you don't have to take responsibility for anything that you do. And even if you do mess up, it doesn't matter. All you have to do is pray to your God and ask for forgiveness. I know which of these sounds like the easy option to me, and which of them is more likely to appeal to lazy teenagers who can't be bothered to put in any kind of effort, and for that matter, lazy adults. As for comparing myself with God, well, I'm not really a jealous person, and I'm not really a wrathful or vengeful person either. I haven't made anybody else's life misery by taking everything away from them, just to prove how much they actually like me. I haven't murdered huge numbers of people by flooding my town. I haven't gone on a spree and slaughtered the firstborn of every household in my neighbourhood. And I haven't threatened people in my life that I'll torture them for a long, long time, unless they satisfy every ridiculous demand that I place on them. So, when I compare myself with your God, it seems I still have some way to go.